Well, so next concept, GST, goods and service tax. The next concept, that is GST, that is goods and service tax. Let us learn first of all what is the meaning of tax. Tax is a fee collected by the government in monetary form from citizens of a country, which is a compulsory element in the order of running the economy. So, first of all, a tax means it is a fees. It is a fees that is collected by the any government. So, central government, state government, any other countries related government also receives or collects from the citizens of a country, So, this is a compulsory aspect. For running the economy. So, and whatever the tax collected by the government, so those collected tax can be utilized for infrastructural developments, welfare activities, providing education to weaker sections or poor students, educational facilities, maintenance of hospitals, hospital maintenance, so etc. So, whatever the tax is collected from the citizens, so those collected tax can be utilized in different ways by the government. Now, actually, in any place or in any country, there are two types of taxes. So, one is direct tax, another one is indirect tax. So, there are two types of taxes. One is direct tax and another one is indirect tax. So, now let us learn what is direct tax and what is indirect tax. Direct tax, directly collected by government from citizens on their income levels, based on their incomes. So, that is what called direct tax. It means citizens directly pay to the government. So, it is not shifted on any other person and it is not paid to any other person. So, citizens directly pay the taxes to the government on their incomes. So, whatever the income levels, whatever they generated their income, based on that income they pay directly to the government. So, such type of tax is considered as a direct tax. So, example for this one is income tax. Suppose a salaried person, he have a 5 lakhs salary per annum. So, based on this 5 lakhs, he will pay the tax to the government. So, this tax is considered as a income tax. So, whatever he earned income, so based on that income levels, so he paid tax to the government directly. So, this tax is considered as a direct tax. Next one, indirect tax. So, indirectly collects from citizens on their purchases of goods or taking services or utilizing services. So, it means government indirectly collects from the citizens of the country. So, based on their purchases of goods, or whatever the services they are taking, so in that way, government collects indirect taxes from the citizens of a country. So, examples for that taxes are, see, GST, GST, excise duty, customs duties, and other service related taxes. So entertainment tax, octroi. So all these are different indirect taxes. All these are different indirect taxes. Actually, this tax is not directly collected by the government from the citizens of India. So this tax is collected based on their consumption of goods or taking the services. So from where they are taking, so from that persons or from that business, government may collect. So you can understand so clear cutly in upcoming session itself. Right. Well, so about the GST. So GST, goods and service tax, is the biggest indirect tax reform of India. The GST Act was passed in the Parliament on 29th March 2017. So, but Act came into force. So that is executed. The Act came into executed on 1st July 2017. So France was the first country to introduce GST in the world, and at present, so 160 nations have adopted the GST as on 2019. So this is the biggest reforms. So biggest tax reforms in indirect taxes, not on direct taxes. It is on indirect taxes, which was made by by our country, that is India. So this act was actually in the parliament. It was passed on 29th March 2017. So but act came into force on 1st July, from 1st July 2017 onwards. So let us see any other points. Actually, this is a destination based tax. Actually, this tax is GST is destination based tax. So destination based tax on consumption of goods and services, that is, it implies the tax will be payable in the state in which goods and services are both are finally consumed, which is also termed as place of supply. So it means actually this tax is levied on consumption of goods and services. It means where the consumption takes place, the tax can be levied on consumption of goods and services. So example, suppose see a buyer is in Andhra Pradesh. Seller is in Tamil Nadu. Now who is consuming here? B, that is buyer is in AP. Who is in AP? So the tax can be levied, the tax can be collected from buyer, not from seller. So it means the person who consumes the goods and services, a tax can be collected from that person itself, not on the supplier point of view. It means not on the seller, not from the seller. The tax can be collected from the buyer. So that is what called consumption based tax. Or destination based tax. So the person who consumes the goods and services, he will have to pay the GST. It is his responsibility. It is not the seller's responsibility. To pay the tax. So GST should be paid by the, definitely the GST have to pay by the consumer. That is what destination based taxes. Next, since only the value added at each stage is taxed under GST, there is no cascading of taxes under GST system. So GST does not differentiate between goods and services, and thus the two are taxed at a single rate. So here it means, I will explain this point, there is no cascading of taxes. So in later explanation, so I will explain about this cascading of taxes. Cascading of taxes means tax on tax. So generally cascading effect means tax on tax is considered as cascading taxes. Cascading effect, I will explain what is this tax on tax. So in small example, I will show the small example relating to this later. So now GST doesn't differentiate between the goods and services, and thus two are taxed at a single rate. It means goods and services are not differentiated. So here goods are separated from services, are not considering in this way. So both goods and services are considered as a similar point of view, and they taxed in a single rate. So in a single rate, even if it is a good or even it is a services, it can be considered as in single rate. So now let us see what are the taxes were merged. So let us see what are the taxes merged in the GST. So almost all the indirect taxes like excise duty, service tax, central sales tax, value added tax, and other state related taxes are replaced only tax, that is one tax, only tax. It means one tax, that is goods and service tax. So that is why we can call this as one tax, one nation, or one nation, one tax. One nation, one tax. So it means throughout the country, only available indirect tax is GST. So now only available tax is GST, but few articles or few things, few commodities does not included in GST. So like crude oil. So crude oil still it is not included in the GST, that is petrol, diesel, so etc. It is not included in the GST yet. And even liquor also not included in GST. So it is also exempted to inclusion of GST. So now let us see how this GST provided the price values, or how this GST will impact on the buyers when compared with the previous tax system, right. So I will take a small example to understanding the impact of GST on consumers. So when compared with the previous tax system, a small example, that is a manufacturer of soaps from Andhra Pradesh sold goods to a buyer, and he is also from AP, that is Andhra Pradesh. So the details of the goods are, the details about the soaps are: cost price of a soap ₹100, and profit margin profit margin for a manufacturer rupees 10. Next one, excise duty. So actually excise duty is payable by the manufacturer for production of a good. Excise duty, actually excise duty is meant for, it is payable by the manufacturer of a good for the purpose of production of a good. So for the purpose of production of a good, it means if any good is produced, if any good is manufactured, then he have to pay, the manufacturer have to pay the tax to the government. Such tax is considered as a excise duty. So whenever the good is produced, so for production of a good, company or business or manufacturer have to pay the tax to the government. The tax is considered as a excise duty. Such tax is considered as excise duty. Now this excise duty, let us take 12.5%. Next one, VAT, value added tax. So this value added tax 12.5%. Actually this VAT is levied by the government for the purpose of sales transaction. In case if the goods are sold, if the goods are sold from one person to another person, then the value will be increased. Value will be increased. So whatever the value added, so based on that value added, government can levy the tax. That is what value added. How this value will be increased? Suppose manufacturer may sell the product for rupees 100 to wholesaler. Later wholesaler may sell the products to retailer worth of rupees 120. Later the retailer may sell the goods to customer for rupees 150. So manufacturer sell the products to wholesaler for 100 rupees, wholesaler sell the goods to retailer for 120, and retailer sell the goods to customers for 150. Here what is happening? At every stage the values are adding. So here from manufacturer to wholesaler, from manufacturer to wholesaler, 100 rupees are added, 100 rupees were generated, and from wholesaler to retailer additional 20 rupees were added, from retailer to customer another 30 rupees were added. So whenever the transactions takes place, whenever the sales transaction takes place, some taxes, some values can be increased, some values can be increased. So that is what called value added. So on every stage of supply chain, so we can consider this one, this one as a supply chain. So we can consider this one as a supply chain. So in this supply chain, values can be increased from one person to another person. So whenever the values increased, so that is what called value added. Now, so this value added tax can be levied by the state government. So this value added tax can be levied by the state government. So on the whenever the sales transactions takes place, Now let us see how this transaction will impact on the customer in two different tax systems, that is before GST, after GST. So before GST and after GST, let us understand. So before GST, after GST. So here cost price, that is 100 rupees, Here also same similar cost price rupees 100. Now plus profit margin 10 rupees, same similar ikkada. So same here also profit margin 10 rupees. So 110 and here also 110. Let us assume GST rate. So let us assume this GST rate as 10%. Let us assume the GST rate as 10%. So actually there are different types of GSTs. So one is, first of all, we have to understood the different types of GSTs whatever available in our country. Then you can understand the impact. So see, please wait. So classification of GST. So classification of GST in India. So one is CGST, that is central goods and service tax. Central government goods and service tax, that is CGST. Next one, SGST, that is state government goods and service tax. It is SGST. Next one, integrated GST, that is IGST. Integrated GST. So integrated GST means IGST. And one more also available, there, that is UTGST, Union Territory GST, that is UTGST actually, UTGST. So these are the four classifications that is available in our country relating to the GST. Now let us understood, so whom will levy this type of GST one by one. So actually central government GST. So this GST is levied by the central government, and any portion of tax relating to the GST can be earned by the central government, and state government GST. So this tax is levied by the state government, and the tax portion or tax revenue relating to the state related transaction or state related GST can be earned by the state governments, and integrated GST. So this integrated GST, whenever buying and selling takes place between two states, whenever buying and selling takes place between two states, that is interstates, on that situation or in that situation integrated GST can be levied. So integrated GST can be levied. So, and Union Territory GST, UTGST, means if transactions are taking place in Union Territory territories. We know there are some of the union territories in our country. So, union territories, this UTGST can be levied. This UTGST can be levied. Now, actually, first two, if we observe the first two, so in this from this first two, if it is takes place within the state, it means that both buyer and seller belongs to same state, then a GST can be divided into two parts. If both buyer and seller belongs to same state, then GST can be divided into two parts. One is CGST and another one is SGST. One is CGST, another one is SGST. So it means if tax rate is 18%, if the tax rate is GST tax rate is 18%. So from this 18%, one portion belongs to central, that is 9%. Another portion belongs to state, that is another 9%. So in this way, if both buyer and seller belongs to the same state, so then these two taxes, that is two GSTs, that is CGST and SGST can be levied. So that too in single slab, in single rate itself, they divided their portion. So they divide their portion, central government portion and as well as state government's portion. So in this way, these two GSTs, first two GSTs can be implemented or can be levied. Well, so now let us see this difference between before GST related aspect and after GST related aspect, and how this impacted the customers. So see, so before GST there are two taxes as per this transaction. So one is excise duty, another one is VAT. So excise duty 12.5%, VAT 12%. So let us see, plus excise duty that is 12.5% on 110 rupees. Excise duty on 12 at the rate of 12.5% on 110 rupees, that is a value 13.75. Now by adding these two, the value of the good become 23.75. Then after the sales transaction, so this tax is levied on manufacturing. Actually this tax is levied on manufacturing and manufacturer can be paid. So manufacturer paid this 13.75 tax. Next, later whenever the manufacturer sold the goods to the another person, that is wholesaler, to the wholesaler or distributor, so this VAT also consider 12.5. Now VAT can be levied. So VAT can be levied whenever the goods are sold. Here actually the manufacturer sold the goods for rupees 123.75. Actually the manufacturer sold the goods to the distributor or to the wholesaler at the rate of rupees 123.75. Now he can add the value added tax along with this 123.75. he can add the value added tax also. So VAT, value added tax. So value added tax here is at the rate of 12.5 this can be levied on 123.75 into 12.5%. So the value of this is 15.47. Now total selling price is 139.22. So total sales price. So total sales price here. Total sales price is here 139.22%. 139.22. So now a wholesaler have to pay the total value 139.22 to the manufacturer. So actually this excise duties can be directly paid by the manufacturer to the government because of production of goods. Now let us understand how GST can be considered the tax rate relating to this transaction. So now plus GST. So which type of GST is applicable here means actually both seller and as well as buyer, both buyer and seller, both belongs to the same state. Both buyer and seller, that is manufacturer and as well as buyer, we can consider him as a wholesaler. So both manufacturer and wholesaler belongs to the same state. Now let us understood how much of tax can be levied. So here add 10%, sorry, not 10%. So based on this 12.5, we can get the tax rate. We can get the tax rate here, that is 20%. Based on this 12.5%, relating to the GST is total percentage is 20%. Now out of this 20%, we have to consider two portions. So one is CGST. So that is 10% at the rate of 10% on 110. The value is 11, and again add SGST at the rate of 10% on again 110, not on 121. The tax rate will be linked to this price. The tax rate will be linked to this price, not on this one. So again SGST also calculated, that is at the rate of 10% on 110 itself. So again 11 rupees. The total selling price by the manufacturer to the wholesaler is rupees 132. So total selling price. Actually two GSTs are included here. The same rate can be divided by the two, divided by the state government and as well as central government. So 20%, if it is considered as a 20%, so 20% is divided by the two governments. One is state government, another one is central government. So if you observe the major differences here is, if previous system, VAT can be calculated on the 123.75, that is whatever the tax 13.75 rupees already included. So on this item also tax can be calculated. So it means this 123.75 includes both 110 plus 13.75, it means whatever the tax generated, whatever the tax paid, 13.75 rupees. So on that tax, again value added tax can be calculated, again the value added tax can be levied. So this is what this effect is considered as a tax on tax, that is cascading effect. But here in GST, while come to the GST, the total both taxes, that is CGST and as well as SGST, can be calculated on this manufacturing price plus profit price, only manufacturing and profit margin related prices, not on this price, not on the 121 price. So it is linked to this 110, linked to this 110. So now what is happening? So based on this calculation, we can understand that while after introduction of the GST, goods prices are come down. So after introduction of GST, goods prices are come down. So look at this, here 139.22, so here 132 rupees, a major difference, nearly almost 7.22 rupees are differentiated. So in this way the consumer can be, definitely helpful, consumer can be benefitable. So in this way consumer can be benefitable.